Here's a look at the emini S&P for Monday, July the 11th, 2011. What we're looking at here, of course, are the market profiles. And this is today's market profile, and this is Friday's market profile. The one in the middle here is, of course, what happened overnight. So the market closed up here after the big sell-off in the overnight session Thursday night going into Friday. Could not muster much of follow-through here and ended up right on its high. This produced what I believe to be a somewhat bullish indication, and that we would look for continuation of that Sunday evening and Monday. However, something new obviously came into the market because the overnight session opened, I think, we're basically right on its high here, one tick off the high, started to sell off, paused a bit, and then sold off some more. And by the time the RTH opened down here, it was well below the low from Friday, which was up here. So this was a what I would consider to be a surprise sell-off. And when you have structure indicating that the market's likely to continue higher, but then the opposite happens overnight, especially over a weekend, when obviously other factors have more of a chance to come into play, more time to do so, then the tables really turned, and we knew that if it could hold below 29, then that would produce at least a transition into down, maybe not definitely into down intraday bias, but at least a transition to it. And so that's really how we looked at today. So after the open here, it had a bit of a bounce, but then basically sold off for the rest of the day. It did, however, have a pretty nice bounce right at the end, and that was off of one of our known supports down here at 1312. So I think we really got to use that 1312 as a potential support going into tomorrow. And as far as on the way up is concerned, the first natural area of support is not too far from where the market closed, and I would say that would be around the 1320 area. So that's, I think, what we're really looking at as far as immediate support and resistance is around 12 to 20. Likely one of those areas is going to get taken out, and if it does, then it could have a nice leg either up or down. If the market does not move above 1320, but does break below 12, that would be very bearish. If the market breaks above 20 and then comes down to 12, it could very well hold again. It doesn't mean to say it will, but I think the chances, if that was the scenario, then the chances would be better if it were to hold at 12. Other than that, if it gets above 20, then the next area that the market could hit up to would be up to 27 and then up to 29. So areas that we're looking at as far as the upside is concerned. On the downside, the next area really down that we'd be looking at for some good support wouldn't be until all the way down around 1305. We also like to use the market profiles from the regular trading hours, and that's what you're looking at right now. So we also use them in our analysis. As far as our trades in our chart, you can see it right here. The down red arrows, of course, indicate the short trades that our system produced, and the blue up arrows are the long trades that the system produced. Now, obviously, we don't take every one of these trades. We like to see if the trade is compatible with the filter and with our belief of the intraday bias. As I had just mentioned, because the market had the surprise opening lower and was holding below 29, we did not take this long trade as a result because our intraday bias had shifted to down. The short trade here, you can see it never did come up to it. That dash red line went all the way across over to the end of the day, so we had no trade there. Our first trade was right here, which was a short trade. It only moved a couple ticks in our favor, unfortunately, then we got stopped out. So that one didn't work. The next trade that showed on the chart was this long trade, and it did move from here and hit past our first objective, so it was no worse than a break even. Even though we were in a green filter, we hadn't yet reached down to the 12 area to test it. So until the 12 really gets tested, it's difficult to take any of these kinds of long trades. Um, so the next trade that we ended up by taking was a short trade here, and it did move in our favor, the first objective, but then rally against us, so it turned out to be a break-even trade. Now this long trade here was the same kind of scenario. It was in a green filter, but this time the market had hit 12. So it didn't really test below it, but the market did come in here. It moved a point and a quarter in our favor, so no worse than a break-even trade. So this was sort of, you could consider kind of a gray area trade. Uh, so the third trade that we definitely took was this last one here, because you can see the market came down and dipped below 12, hit 1175, gave us a long trade right in here. You can see the blue arrow, and then it had a really nice rally to finish the day. So that trade really worked out nicely, with a 7-point gain on the final partial on that trade. So we're still going to look around this 1320 as resistance. If it holds, then watch out for that 12 area. It might not hold. However, I think the market does get above 20 and spend some time up there, especially if it's during the regular trading hours. Then if it were to come down and hit 12, that 12 could actually act as good support. Who knows, it might not even get down that low. However, if the market backs off in the overnight and then in the early morning, watch out below 12, because then the next target down would be around 1305. So that's really what we're looking at here for today. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, just get a hold of us at info@eminidaytrader.com. And of course, our phone number is also on the website at eminidaytrader.com. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.